What's up, you guys? It's your girl Janelle with Cope with Janelle. That's Climb Over Problems Every Day. And I am here in Irmo, South Carolina at 7825 Broad River Road, Suite 200. All right, you guys, this is clearly not the original video that I had planned because I cannot find the video on my computer and my nieces are going to choke me out. But you know what? We pivot. Don't we pivot, people? Okay. So, the video that I recorded originally with my nieces, the lovely ones from episode 11, Sibling Rivalry, with Ashlyn Brielle and Candy Pop Fizzle, as she is affectionately known as. Her real name is Candace, though. They were talking about social media and the use of screens and or devices. So I will, in effort to honor the video that I know that we did, I'm going to just do a brief chew and chat today. So hopefully you have warmed up your lunch. It is past 12:11 now. You've warmed up your lunch and you're ready to go ahead on and eat some good food and sit at the desk. But we are still going to talk about some social media concerns and some ramifications as well as some boundaries or some general guidelines that you may want to put in place, especially as it pertains to your children. Okay. So everyone does social media differently. Everyone has a different age that they feel like may be appropriate for their children to begin to use social media. Social media is not parallel or congruent with just screen time as well. There are different stipulations that are put out for getting a device, even. So it'd be great if you would comment in the chat. So please remember, you can always put some things in the chat, put your comment in there so that I can address it during this live right now. But I would love for you to comment on what stipulations or rules or norms do you follow or do you implement for your family, for your cherubs. I know for me in the Butler household, we hold true to our children, which we have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. They both have devices, either an iPad or a phone or something of that nature. And no, everybody didn't get a new one. They got our old ones. Yes. You will not have a newer phone than me. I bind that up in the name of Jesus. Okay. But in any case, they have devices and they only get them though on the weekend. As far as it pertains to like a laptop, they're able to use our laptops for school related inquiries or work completion during the week. But outside of that, they do not get devices until Friday after school. And all devices must be turned in, put away, turned off, whatever the case may be, by 8 p.m. on Sunday night, an hour before bedtime. And so that is one of the guidelines that we use. What are some of the guidelines that y'all use? Okay, comment below. So when my children get their devices, of course, they're allowed to be on YouTube. We tried the YouTube Kids. The more you go down the rabbit hole, even with YouTube Kids, you're going to end up on something that you probably don't want your kids to see. We all have different preferences as it relates to even cartoons. Some parents let their children watch Bluey. Some parents let their children watch SpongeBob or The Simpsons. Some parents let their children watch Family Guy. Everyone varies. Everyone differs. Some people are still on Bubble Guppies. I don't know. But all cartoons are not created equal. But most cartoons end up on the YouTube Kids anyway. So you still have to monitor. One of the things that I often do is I implement the parental controls on their devices through my device. So we are an Apple household. So we have a family plan and I'm able to limit how much screen time they have in the day, even during the weekend. I am able to restrict certain sites, things of that nature. So I try to put some parameters in place that would make sure that they are getting the least amount of exposure to something inappropriate. But the truth of the matter is, we're not going to be watching their every move on the device. That defeats the purpose of them having a device and being able to be in their separate rooms and not down each other's throat, fighting and arguing and carrying on. Right? Okay. So you want to put some stipulations in place. How old were my children when they got a device? Well, I mean, age is so subjective when it comes to how old does a child have to be in order to get a device. We live in a technologically savvy era. Our schooling is done basically online on a device. Um, we are on a device right now as you're watching me and eating your good lunch, of which I need to warm my lunch up. Let me tell you, my husband made pork chops and some rice and some beans. Reverend did that because I ate that yesterday and I packed it up today to eat. I digress. Again, this ADHD got me. All right, back to social media. So the age thing is very subjective. We live in a time where technology is used almost for everything. So for them to be as savvy as they need to be in school, they also have to have some outside use with technology as well. So my children, they've been using technology since they were toddlers. A lot of the games that they would receive, games that we even got at our baby shower, were some type of device, even if it was a fake phone or a fake computer. Like all of that was some type of technology. So it was only natural for them to be able to progress to a phone or a tablet. The phone, the way I have our phones set up for the children is that they only have certain contacts in them, and they can only make calls to it's programmed that they can only make calls to those people. The same thing for video calling. They can only make video calls to the people who are in their phone, the contacts are in their phones. Setting boundaries, setting guidelines, and making sure everyone is aware of those guidelines helps to streamline screen use as well as the effects of social media. So one of the things, and I'm not going to give away all the things that my nieces talked about in the video because I am going to find the video and I'm going to post it. But one of the things in particular that I found to be so interesting when I was talking with them is exactly what they use their social media for. So let me pivot from screen time for a second and make a landing over here at social media lane. Whether it's on Facebook, TikTok, IG, Snapchat, whatever the case may be. What I hear a lot of is not so much that the social media is being used for people to connect with other people, so to speak. But my nieces were noting that no, one of them was noting that they use it a lot for recipes and for style ideas. Another one of my nieces says, well, I just use it for entertainment purposes. You know, if I'm having a slow day or if I'm feeling down or something, I use it for that. And another one of my nieces, who is about to be 13, she indicated that she does not have a social media yet. However, she does have YouTube. She records videos, but she does not upload her videos. She just uses her YouTube to watch shorts and different things, also, again, for entertainment value. So I asked them, well, do y'all use it to like talk to each other? They're not necessarily using the social media aspect to talk to each other as much as they are using chat apps or just their phone, just sending text messages. So that was one of the things too. One of the other things that I learned was that a lot of the one-on-one or personal communication also happens through the gaming systems, the Xboxes, the PS5s, and things like that. There's more communication going on the gaming systems a lot of times than the actual social media. So sometimes the social media is not the culprit in your student or your child wanting to spend so much time on electronics. It's the actual communication that they're having through the games. More recently, in one of the news productions at I think I was at WIS, with Judy Gadsden a couple weeks ago, I did a segment um, on child. Um, oh Lord, I'm having such a brain fart for a moment. Child molestation, basically, and we were talking about how sometimes these adults get access to the children, and a lot of the assumption was that it was, if it was through an electronic mean, that it was through social media. But one of the major culprits was actually through the gaming systems. Okay, so sidebar, it's really important for us as parents to have necessary conversations with our children about good touches, inappropriate communication, good communication, things of that nature. And there are lots of natural ways to incorporate those conversations. For example, my 9-year-old was saying, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend." And instead of just immediately jumping down the throat and saying, "No, you don't have nothing," what I did was I asked her, "Well, what does that mean to have a boyfriend? What does a boyfriend mean to you?" And in a nutshell, it's like, "Oh, well, this is a person that I just talk to a lot, and sometimes we hold hands or we'll sit next to each other." And I asked, "Oh, well, do you do anything else? Is there anything else that makes it different, to be a boyfriend and girlfriend versus just being a friend?" She's like, "No, that's it." I said, "Well, do you kiss?" And she's like, "Ew, no." Now, again, she's 9. I said, "Okay, well, because kissing is only reserved right now for," and she said, "I know, mommy and daddy. That's good. All the only people I kiss." And I said, "Okay, great, cool. Just making sure." But we also went in. I said, "Well, also that even when you have a boyfriend, or a boy has a girlfriend, they're not supposed to touch each other's private parts." And she looked at me. I said, "Private parts, your chest, your vagina, your penis, your butt." And she's like, "Oh gosh," like, but you have to use anatomically correct terms so that if something was to be touched inappropriately, they're not telling the police, "Yeah, someone just touched my cookie," and not know what that is. So, but we had that conversation, but it was a smooth, it was very organic because we were talking about, her having a boyfriend. So it's, again, I say, not to pivot all the way to the left, but wanting to make sure that that all communication does not just happen on social media. Sometimes the communication is happening through the gaming system. So just be aware of that. All right, good people. So here's some tips just to take with you as parents. As it pertains to social media, it's up to you to decide what age you would like your child to be able to have social media, and but it's really up to the child to let you know their level of maturity and what they're trying to use the social media for. Um, I remember when I first got social media, which back when it was just emerging on the scene, I got MySpace. Y'all remember MySpace? So I got MySpace, and I ended up getting Facebook. But the only reason why I got those was so that I could see the people that were applying to work in my residence hall, because I was a residence director at Winthrop, and so I wanted to see what life they were living outside of their interview. So I was using it to stalk. I want y'all to figure out, as parents, what is the why behind their want or desire to have social media. It's always the why behind the thing. It's never the thing. The thing is not a thing until we make it a thing, and we only make it a thing when we have a why. Y'all will get that later. All right, so learning why they want something will help you to navigate whether or not they should have it at a certain age. Also, how much time. We as adults go down this rabbit hole because it is mindless entertainment. A lot of times it takes us away from the world we're dealing with, the issues, the bills, the people at work, the people at school, the people at church, wherever you are, right? It takes you away. It allows you to go into a different space, right? And we could sit in that bed and we can be going from clicking games and playing solitaire until 3 in the morning, or even just going through shorts or going through little videos. Hey Jojo, going through little things, for hours and hours on end, being non-productive and also depriving ourselves of rest that's much needed. You want to make sure that you're actually not giving yourself a cutoff time. So for parents, I ask that you also demonstrate the behavior, the restraint, the discipline that you would like for your children to also have. If you do not want your children to be addicted to their device, they should not see you with your device in your hand 24/7. That's just how it goes, or else they will associate you with your device and or emulate that same behavior. Okay. Thirdly, if it comes down to, because a lot of us we use devices as diversions, the diversion device, right? We use it for that purpose because we are doing a lot all at the same time. We're working, some of us are working remotely. And so it's helpful to have something else that will preoccupy your child instead of them coming in and busting up in your meeting while you're trying to look professional. Okay. Totally get it. But here's the thing. There also has to be some break in screen time. There has to be a break. So using a scheduling system to denote when screen time is applicable, and actually having the ability to turn that off, turn it on, turn it off, so that there's no confusion as to when they're supposed to be off. No, it automatically shut off. Your screen is locked at such and such o'clock. You know what I mean? And then you transition into something else. Not just that your screen is locked at this time, but let there be something else scheduled right after that so that it gives the child something else to look forward to. All right. So you got those 3 tips to just try to implement to see if it makes a difference for you guys. And if it don't work, hey, we always can come back to the drawing board. Therapy is not cookie cutter. It's not one size fits all, but we do try to make things easier to implement and to scaffold into our lives so that our lives are better and more conducive for us to be able to cope. And that's to climb over problems every day. So those 3 tips, remember, try to implement that. Okay. And I will see you guys next Wednesday at 12:11. Until then, y'all have a wonderful day. Be blessed and not stressed. Bye.